and random sunny day. Sorry. On a hot and I'm so sorry, guys. On a hot and random sunny day in the Philippines, my older sister asked, "Why don't you call me Ate?" I just shook my head and said, "Because I don't want to," and then walked away. When I was 5 years old and I hated sleeping in the dark by myself because of the shadows, I would sleep next to my 15-year-old sister in her bright blue room with curtains that allowed the moonlight shine down the windows. It was so hard for me to fall asleep. I would just stay awake in the middle of the night staring at the windows. But every so often the shadows of cars driving by or the shadow of the trees would freak me out. And I honestly felt like I would pee my pants because that's how much I feared shadows and how much I hated them. Until next to me, you would just hear those loud snores of my older sis gave me comfort, knowing that I'm not alone, so I will never call my sis Ate. Shadows are what I hated, but also what I feared, and I lived in my older sis's shadows. Whether it be because I'm 2 inches shorter than her, or her old clothes, got her old room, or always went to the same grade school, high school, and college as her. Whether we were born at different times, but we grew up in the same way, where I was a shadow that followed her, but never seemed to be able to touch the light, a shadow that was jealous of her, a shadow that feared her, a shadow that hated her, a shadow that is a little sis that will never call her older sis Ate. I will never call my sis Ate. My sis and I are 10 years apart. It's weird to think about that because we grew up in different decades, meaning that she was there watching the first season of Pokemon while I was there watching the 10th season of Pokemon. Or how I grew up playing Minecraft on an iPad and she grew up playing Harvest Moon on a Nintendo DS. Or that the work study job I have now was her job, but 10 years ago. We just grew up in the same way, and we grew up with the same parents and the same rule of not being able to sleep over with our friends until 4th grade. We grew up going to the same Manny Pacquiao fight parties and traditional American Thanksgivings. We just grew up Filipino American. We were born at different times, but we grew up the same way, where I was a shadow but never seemed to be able to touch the light. A shadow that was jealous of her, a shadow that feared her, a shadow that hated her, a shadow that was a little sis that will never call her older sis Ate, that I will never call my older sis Ate. The younger me didn't like how similar we were. The younger me didn't like how her older sis would lock her out of her room when her parents fought. The older sis grew tired of the mean and frustrating comments from her older sis. The younger sis didn't like how she couldn't talk to her older sis about struggles and fears of being a shadow. The younger sis didn't like how her parents constantly say to be like her older sis, to look up to her, to follow her footsteps, to become the same person as her. We were born in different times, but we grew up the same way, where I was the shadow that followed her and never been able to touch the light, and a shadow that was jealous of her, a shadow that feared her, and a shadow that hated her. A shadow that was a little sis that I will never call Ate. When I was 13 years old and she was 23 years old, I went through a hard time in my life. But when I was 5 years old and she was 15 years old, she was right there. Maybe not snoring that time, but asking me if I wanted to get late night ice cream and talk in her car for hours. I was just a little sis who was feared by the shadows, but always had her little sis or her older sis right there. We were born in different times, but we grew up in the same way. We were born Filipino American. How my parents made my older sis take care of me when she didn't want to. How she took on all the responsibility by reading government documents or buying our plane tickets to the Philippines. How she would just lock herself away to feel secure and sane. How our parents didn't want us to be different because they wanted to make sure both of us are successful. So they compared us and reminded us to be like the other. Because if one daughter is successful, the other must follow the same path to also be successful. We were born in different times, but we grew up the same way. We were born Filipino American. How our parents wanted to let us grow up Filipino American by using the word sis, rather than the Filipino way by using the word ate, or by the American way using the word sister. Now my sis is the reason why I can stand here today, because I realized that I shouldn't fear shadows, because she was there just being a light that led me to understand her, to cherish her, and most importantly, to love her. So sis, to answer your questions all those years ago about why I don't call you ate, because you were a light when I was stuck in the shadows, because you were born in different times, but we grew up the same way, because you grew up Filipino American, that you grew up with a younger sis, and I grew up with an older sis, that this little sis will never call you ate, but will always call you sis. Thank you.
You know what, Jenna? You're kind of like my older sister. I don't have one, but if I did, you'd be a pretty good older sister.
You know, Raph, we've been friends for a while, and I've always kind of looked at you as like my younger brother. You know, you're kind of annoying at times. You know, you're still lovable in the same exact way that I've always loved you, and I will always love you. But you know what else you remind me of?
What?
Pie.
Pining the board has been an AAU tradition for AAU's annual night markets.
I'm so sorry. You look great.
Thank you.
So everybody, underneath your little centerpiece tablecloth, there should be an envelope. If you have a red envelope with a pie card on it, please make your way to the stage and make yourself known. And I just need one person from your table if you have it at your table. Just one person. So send up one person. Open it. Open it. If there's a pie card, let me know. Let me know. Pie card? Who has a pie card? I swear I put one out there, so you can't lie to me. Is it this person right here? Right here? Here we go. I see one person. One person. Uno. One person. Thank you. Come here. Come here. You look fresh and clean. Hello. You have the pie card. Show everybody your pie cards.
Wow.
What is your name?
Natalie.
My name's Noelani. Noelani, are you representing anyone tonight? Asu. Okay, Noelani, we have that for you, and that lets you apply a board member. So then, can the AAU board please come on up here? Look at this wonderful selection you have. I will say the two sparkling ones right there, they're off limits. I'm sorry. They're off limits.
They're scared, that's why they're scared.
Yeah. They're a little scared. They're off limits.
They have a performance after this, so they're off limits for now. But you can still buy them later in the program. But not for now, just so those four.
So, I'm gonna give you a pie. You know, maybe ask you a few questions. I don't know what you need to do. Figure out who you want to pie, and go ahead and pie someone. Can we have the pie? Choose your victim.
I was a sample. You gotta do that.
Okay, I need you to make your choice.
You're doing Milo? Oh.
She chose Maggie! Let's
Where was my
go!
choice?
Okay, you want to count down? Raz, give her a countdown.
Countdown. You're gonna know how it feels. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Everybody give it up for Megan!
Thank you, board. You guys can go now.
Thank you guys. We're gonna get into one of our most anticipated performances of the night, personally one of my favorites, our K-pop dance.